Lately these jobs got me struggling less, but I'm still under pressure, and I've still been depressed. There's no limit to extra, if it makes you the best. Flying low with the winners, close, take the air out my chest. I ain't tripping so long, maybe it's for the better. Cut the alcohol and the smoke, there's no limit to extra. Ain't as far as it goes, a long way from your regular, ayy. Make it rain on your umbrella, L.A. Rain down.
Hey everyone, thanks for jumping back into episode 12 here, 100 Miles From Home. Joined, as always, by my lovely second, Miss Grace D'Onofrio. Feeling a lot of indigestion right now. How about you?
Yeah, it's probably University Market.
Yeah, University Market. Strips and fries got me. Also eating at, what time are we doing this right now? It's about midnight. So that'll
Not
do it to
my
you.
best.
There's some Alka-Seltzer in my very near future.
Yeah.
Man, what a week. I feel like we've been super busy this week, huh?
Right. What did we do? Went to the chiropractor.
Yeah, well, I definitely want to get into that, but I'm thinking like a sequential order.
Oh, chronological.
Yeah. Tuesday, I interviewed some really cool people up the street from us.
Yeah.
I've seen these people, and I'll have some pictures on the screen for anyone watching. I've seen these people in the corner by our street, protesting, or they have signs about stuff, and I've always wondered like what they were talking about, and I've seen their signs, and it was like JHU Hopkins spy plane, and I was like, what does that mean? You know, like I was
Could
like,
mean anything.
yeah, and so I was always super interested by it, and then the other day I was, I've been like, wanting to take more pictures and stuff like that. We've getting in taking some like film camera pictures, and I've been wanting to try and find some more stuff around the city to show here at the beginning of the show, and I was just like, fuck it, like today's the day, I'm gonna do it. And I called you and was like, hey, can you run like 2 cameras or no 3 cameras out to me, like my video camera, 2 film cameras. I want to go up and talk to these people. So you ran it out to me. I turned around, I pulled up next to them at a red light, and I rolled down my window and I said, hey, and they were like, what? And I was like, if I go park, can I take some pictures of you guys? And I didn't know what to expect,
Yeah.
like I honestly
Going, hey, let me take
I think
pictures
I
of
was
you.
worried that they were gonna think I was like patronizing them or something, you know.
Yeah.
And they were great, and they were like, yeah, of course. And I went and I parked, and I had all my cameras and stuff like that, and I went and talked to them, and they couldn't have been nicer. They were very nice. They were definitely passionate about what they were talking about, and basically what they were talking about was that Johns Hopkins he gave me like this piece of paper. Oh shit, I should have grabbed it and we could have read it directly. But basically,
maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe next time. Well, I'm gonna go see them again. So yeah, but basically, he gave me this piece of paper that they had sent to the president of Johns Hopkins University, and was saying like Hopkins got a $500 million research grant from the U.S. government to do continued like nuclear weapon research, also like drone testing, and I think that's what the spy plane was about, and that they were protesting it because I think from what I understand and from what he was telling me and what I read. There's been like some UN treaty about countries going in and basically agreeing to not do nuclear weapon research and testing, because we don't need nuclear weapons unless we're just going to blow each other up, and that the United States was continuing to do it, and that President Biden actually, in one of his campaign promises, was to lower military spending, but specifically nuclear weapons research, and it is actually kind of continued what the last administration was doing in that. Now, granted, this is what I got from him. Please do your own research, and I plan on doing mine as myself, but I'm just saying, kind of chronicling what they said. And they're all older people, probably retired, and they have he gave me his business card. Give me 1 second. I want to look up the name. I have it right here on my phone of their organization. They're the Baltimore Nonviolence Center, and they do protests there every Tuesday. And
every single Tuesday.
Every single Tuesday they're there, rain or shine, which makes sense because I guess they're Tuesdays.
Commitment.
They're very committed, and they're very committed to their thing. So.
Good for them.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, on paper, yeah, I agree with them. Nuclear
Sure.
weapons research and drone strikes are
We'll have to
terrible.
look more into that.
Drone strikes kill a ton of innocent people, like civilians and stuff like that. Which is a highly scrutinized thing. I know in like the Obama administration, not to be like too political, but I'm gonna go up and spend some more time. I'm gonna try to do an actual little video not documentary, but just a little video clip on them and talk to them a little bit more. So stay tuned for that. But I've showed some pictures. I'm sure by now I got some pictures of them, and there's a couple film pictures that will get developed that you'll see eventually. So that was interesting.
Yeah. Sounds
I'm
like
glad
it.
I just went for it. I was just like, fuck it.
Yeah, I
Like,
can't believe you did that. Like, I would never have the courage to do that.
I'm trying to
That's
get better
great.
at that, and we kind of covered that in our conversation with our guest this week. Sometimes you just got to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And then kind of a complete 180 from that. Then on Wednesday, do you want to set that up? I feel like I've been talking a lot.
Oh, yeah. So me and my entire family go to the chiropractor. It's like, just always been a thing. And I started
All of you.
going.
All of
Yeah, it's so weird. Well, except I don't know if my brother does, but I started going like maybe in like middle school, high school time.
You
And
went in middle school?
yeah.
Wow.
And then when I was in college, I found this chiropractor like near my parents' house, and so I've been going to them. Like I just go on an as needed basis.
You found it, not your parents?
Or no, like they found it,
Oh,
but
okay.
but it was a new chiropractor to me.
I
So
see.
yeah, I haven't gone anywhere else because it's literally the best chiropractor I've ever been to. And Kyle was like having some pain, and I was like, well, why don't you see if they can like, figure that out? Because he was also having vertigo, and I got my ears cracked. So what they do is they pull your ears and like it realigns the crystals in your ears because they can get out of whack and like create vertigo and stuff. And so there's a doctor there that like specifies in that. Like she cracks like babies and shit. It's like crazy.
So
But
weird.
yeah, we went. And do you want to tell me about your experience or tell them about
Yeah.
your
So,
experience?
like Ray said, I've, if you know me, I have a lot of, alignment and bone and pain and stuff like that. And I have my entire life. And, I always thought chiropractic because of the condition that I have was just not a viable option because I thought it would be too dangerous because I've had multiple leg surgeries and things like that. And now like my back and neck as a casualty of that have kind of gotten messed up. So I always just thought chiropractic adjustments would just kill me or something like that. So, but then I started getting really bad vertigo, like Grace said. I think a lot of it's caused by stress and anxiety. Like I just psych myself out and it causes me to get dizzy. But it's the last couple of weeks like really ramped up. Where one day at work I like had to like hold on to my work chair because I was getting vertigo so bad, and then that makes me nauseous, and you can imagine what happens next. But Grace was like, "Well, go and at least get your ears cracked. I'm sure that'll
Yeah.
help."
That helped me when I was having it for like a good year, maybe a little over a year, and then I started to get it like
Yeah.
a little bit more recently. But then I went back and I just got it done again. So
Yeah.
hopefully it
So
works. But
we went and I kind of had a consultation with them, and they, I kind of told my background with some of the like problems I have, and they were like, no, like we still can adjust you. We just need to get x-rays. And I was like, great, I got to go somewhere and get x-rays. And I have a very good health insurance, thank God, through my work, but stuff isn't free. So I was like, oh God, here we go. They were like, we have an x-ray machine here. It's not going to cost a ton with your insurance. You want to just do it? And I was like, well, something needs to give. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I
it's your
need to probably
body.
get surgery on like my legs and my back at a point. But that's not really in the cards right now.
Yeah.
So maybe this is something that I could do in the meantime for some temporary relief. So they took the x-rays. Actually, you know what? I will put the x-rays on the screen because we have the pictures of them.
They're
I'll
pretty messed up.
I'll blur out some of my information, but the one that I'm going to show that's like my neck facing forward, you can just see the top three vertebrae are completely not in line with the rest of my
Yeah.
neck.
And she said that like because of the way his like your neck is supposed to be like a C, but his is like straight on, so he has no like
I have no like give. So basically,
give.
she was
Yeah.
pushing on the back of my neck, and at the lower part of my neck, when she pushed on it, it kind of like moved with it. But when it got to the top, like right under my skull, it was like concrete. It would not move. And then when she took x-rays, she was like, that makes total sense. She said like I could also be getting bad circulation because of that. Not like a
Yeah.
dangerous way, but that could cause like tension headaches, which is I've
Right.
been getting a ton. I'm getting kind of long-winded with this. There was some arthritis that they could see in there as
Yeah,
well.
like because of the way that his neck was, it was like pushing bones forward and like colliding.
Yeah, and they said that on X-rays you don't typically see muscle, but the muscles in my neck and traps were so tight
That you
and
could
tense that you could
see
see
the little
them
lines. It
on
was
the
so
X-ray.
crazy.
On the side
Are you
view.
okay?
I guess not. So anyways, to get to the thing, they're like, we can adjust you. You know, we just got to be careful. So I was like, fuck it. What do I have to lose? So she was like, I'm going to adjust you like I do to a kid, where I don't tell you ahead of time and I just do it. So I lay down on the table. It's like I'm laying face down. It's like kind of moving my back and it's stretching me. And she's like kind of massaging my back and she's talking to Grace. And she was like, oh, like, your mom was here earlier today, and
Yeah.
how's your dad? And
The whole
stuff.
family.
And I'm laying there with my eyes closed, like, this back rub's nice. And out of nowhere, it's boom, boom, boom. And
Yeah.
she just cracks my middle or my lower, middle, and top
yeah.
back. And I have, I don't really crack my back a lot, like a lot of people, because I'm just
Yeah.
afraid to hurt. I have never in my life felt something like that.
She's like very quick, but
Yeah,
also like
very
very
quick and
aggressive,
aggressive.
because that's what works, you know?
That's what you have to be. I'm
Yeah.
sure you just got to go for it. So I was like, holy shit, when it happened. And then she starts working her way up to my like shoulders and stuff. And I'm like, I know what's next. It's the
My neck.
And she's starting to rub it. And at this point, I know that she's not going to tell me. So I'm just bracing and I'm like trying to be as limp as possible, because I'm sure any kind of resistance could hurt you.
Yeah.
And I just feel shit move, and she just grabs my shit and just goes. And at the peak of it, like, I was like, I'm dead. Like, I just died, or I'm like a paraplegic or something like
Did
that.
it hurt at all?
It didn't hurt. It
She's
was like
a little bit more
it's an aggressive, but it didn't hurt. It was just like, oh my god, like
Yeah.
I have never experienced.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go like this and
It's
get a little
intense.
crack out of my neck, but I never have in my life have experienced something like that. And then she did the other side, and
And how did you feel after?
well, when I sat up, I just started laughing, and like I couldn't stop laughing. And she was like, "That actually makes sense, because getting your neck cracked like releases endorphins." And then I also started to get a lot of warm itchiness around that, and it's funny.
All
My dad
normal.
was telling me that he knows a guy that's gotten chiropractic adjustment and said the same thing. And I think it's like the circulation going. And it wasn't like I was cured. Like, oh my god! I will say that I had a good night's sleep that night. I woke up the next day, and if you work too hard in the gym and you got sore muscles, that's kind of what it felt like on my neck and my back. But it didn't necessarily hurt. And then I will say, maybe it's placebo. I don't think so, because I'm pretty in tune with my body because of all of the stuff that I deal with. I felt like my energy level was a little bit higher, and the muscles felt like they were relaxing for the first time in a long time, and they were like kind of atrophy and sore. So I can kind of feel it now that it's starting to go back to how it was, but I definitely got 48 hours probably of relief.
great.
And I'm gonna go back Monday and Wednesday twice a week
Yeah.
for like a month.
She wants him to come back twice a month, and she said the
Twice a
same
week
thing.
for a month,
Or
yeah.
yeah, she said the same thing to me, but like I don't think mine's the same.
No,
so
I think you
probably
need like
won't.
one or two more and
Yeah.
you're good. But I gotta go for a little bit to like kind of set in
Yeah.
what they are doing. So
Because I mean,
Yeah.
when we were looking at the X-rays, like she said, it's reversible. But I
Well, I
mean,
think to
she
a degree.
also, I guess, doesn't really know. the
well, I mean, she's
condition.
also trying to get you to come and pay
That's
twice a
true.
week.
That's
But I also
definitely
didn't
true.
get the vibe from those people where they were just trying to take your money. They are slammed. They don't
Yeah.
need more business. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, they're all amazing. Both
Yeah.
amazing. It's two people
So,
what they do. So.
yeah, so we'll keep everyone updated on my chiropractic adjustment. If there's a memorial episode, it's because they went too far,
Oh my God,
and they
stop.
broke my neck.
No.
Um,
And
on that note, what else? Oh, so yeah, let's get into today's guest. One thing I did want to say that I didn't mention last time, and it will kind of be a segue into this week's guest. I want to give a big shout out to Elijah Day for the opening theme that you're hearing over the intro video. Song is called "There's No Limit to Extra," and he was super gracious to let us use that. So big
you.
thank you to Elijah Day for letting us use that. I love the song. It's the opening track, I believe, on the album. I mean, it's great. Shout out to Dressing Like Men, Lexi, who was on the podcast last season, who worked on that album. It's just a great track. And then the way that segues is today's guest is Poet22, who I met through Elijah Day. And we had a great conversation. I tried to get her on the podcast last season, but it just didn't work out timing wise. So I'm really glad that we got her as a very early guest on this season. She has a new album that may be out by the time you hear this. I think it will be. It's called Chrysalis. There's a joke about the pronunciation in there that I'm not that great at it. And it should be out. If it's not already out, it will be out very soon. I'm going to put some information on the screen as to where you can stream it. They just finished a crowd source campaign to raise money for it. I think it'll be over by the time you see this, but she gives ways that you can continue to donate beyond obviously just listening, and ways to give back in the interview. So this was great to sit down and talk to her, and we kind of just talked about the album, how she got started with music. The segments were fun; they were great. She had some people here with her as well, which was great. Tamira, who's her producer, Tamira Slade, would definitely be a future guest on this podcast. So I'm excited to have that. So there's one note that I do want to make. So there will be a point in the podcast, and Grace is going to be mad that I'm saying this, but I asked her beforehand where there will be like a cut. Like usually our podcasts go long form, but we did have to take a quick break because do you want to pick up what happened, Grace?
I thought I was gonna pass out.
Yeah, Grace thought she was gonna black out
Okay.
Yeah,
So
you take it.
I like I ate breakfast, I ate lunch, and then as soon as I got off work, I went to go get a tattoo, and I felt myself like bleeding a lot during it. So like I hear what you say about that.
Yeah.
But on the way there, I even brought a snack, and then like I get home and we're immediately setting everything up, and then we start recording, and like maybe 10 minutes in, I just did not feel good.
Yeah.
And then everything started going black. And I was like,
Kyle, I think I'm
I
gonna
had
pass out.
well, because if I didn't say anything, I was going to fall onto the camera, and I didn't want to fall onto the camera.
Yeah, I mean, the
But-
most important thing is that you were safe.
Yeah,
I'm
fine.
I was concerned. I thought
I need to
at
eat
first I
dinner.
thought something happened with the equipment, but usually you would just kind of like wave at me silently or something.
Yeah.
And then it was hard because you were like, "Oh, I got you something. I took a quick break and I got you a snack," and you laid down and you were like, "I'm good. Like, just finish the first half," because we take a break between the first half and the segments. And I finished the interview, and it was hard because I hope it's okay because I was thinking about you. But I figured if there's something wrong, you would
I wanted to
scream.
get it done. Like,
Yeah.
but I also didn't want to be in the room at the moment.
Right. I figured you would scream bloody murder, or you had just passed out.
Yeah.
And that's
I am upset that I missed some of it.
yeah,
but
you have to go back
I'll
and
have
watch
to watch it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks everyone for enjoying our weekly banter. We're gonna go ahead and jump into the interview now, and we'll see you on the other side. Before we started, we were talking about how like we both aren't good at pronouncing words, right? I was telling you the story about how like I didn't know what comorbidities meant when my friend told me, and then we all were kind of talking about it. We're like, we still don't really know what that
it
means, right? So I thought he said comorbidities, and then my friend was like comorbidities. So that's where I'm at with English language. But anyways, we're here joined by Poet22 here on the pod. It's been great. We tried to get linked up the last time when you were here, but it didn't work out timing wise. So I'm super stoked to have you this time. And if there's ever a time, right now is the time, right?
Yeah.
So you have a lot going on with your album coming out and the fundraising campaign, and I'm excited to get into all of that. But the one thing I wanted to ask to start off with is like, how did you get involved with music? Like, I'm always kind of interested like that. Like, was there somebody in your family that did it? Like, for me, like, my parents always had music, like, on. They have, like, no musical aptitude, but they always, like, had it on and stuff like that. So that's kind of how, like, I got into it. Like, when did you know that, like, you wanted to be, like, a musician or, like, some kind of performer? Do you have, is there, like, a memory or something that sticks out?
Well, I mean, my first memory of like being like really, I guess, introduced to music. My mother had a boyfriend, and he used to like watch me and like produce and stuff. And I'd be like, why is he always in that room just pressing buttons. Like, But I mean, it sounded good, but I was like, what you doing in there?
Right.
And one day I was like very curious and I came in, I was like, how little kids are like, what you doing?
Right.
And he like prompted me to like put these headphones on and he was like, just sing a song over like some beat that he had just made.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I don't do that because I'm like, I don't know, maybe like 7 at the time.
Sure.
8. I'm like, what am I going to sing about? But my family is from Chicago. So juking and, parties and block parties, that's a really big thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, what do I observe in my environment as a 7-year-old?
Right.
So I sung a song about the party music. Yeah. So, yeah.
And that's what birthed it from there. That's cool. That's good. For me. It was always like my mom like would always like do the dishes or like turn music on, like cleaning and stuff like that. And that was always like kind of my thing, like how I got introduced into it, or like I don't know, they were just always like had it going. Neither of them have like, and they'll be the first to admit like any kind of like musical ability or anything like that. So, and then I have an older brother, and he like hit the phase where he's like, I'm gonna play guitar and stuff like that. And then I'm like 2 years younger than him, so I was like, I'm gonna play the bass. And then I have a younger brother who's like 3 years old, and my mom was like, he should play the drums. And they tried to get like a Partridge Family kind of thing going together. But yeah, so that's interesting. And then from there, did you do like anything in school growing up, or?
I mean, I always wrote. That was like mostly what people, I guess, like when you're a talented and gifted kid, they like kind of throw things on you. So people threw writing on me. So I was like, I'm going to be a writer. You see how that turned out. But yeah, so I wrote a lot of poetry growing up. Didn't really like school assignments. That's why I was like, how am I going to be a writer? I don't even like writing that much.
Right.
But yeah, so I didn't really do a lot of like music stuff. Like I was in choir, like every kid's in choir.
Right.
But I kept the music that I was making mostly to myself, if I'm being honest. I didn't start like showing people. Like, of course my best friend knew because like we've been friends forever. Yeah, we share everything. But like other than that, like other people knowing that I did that, I didn't show anybody that.
Do you feel like the times that you did explore like writing, like even if it wasn't like musically intertwined with that, like it's kind of like helped you now, or it kind of made you like look back on that and be like, oh, okay, like maybe that's like that knack has always been there, and now that I found like the music route, that's really how I can channel that kind of stuff?
I mean, I feel like me being into poetry, because I really liked poetry. Like I was into haikus. Like I was going hard for the haikus.
That's
but
the 575.
yeah,
okay.
and I like the technicality of it, and
Right.
I like the
Forces you
challenge.
into the-
And I was like, but that I feel like that helped me with like rhythm and like learning how to like
about that.
pace myself in a song as
Yeah.
well. So yeah, I feel like the poetry aspect really helped, and also just writing bad stuff. People are really ashamed to write bad stuff, but I think that you need to write bad stuff in order to get good stuff. So
That's kind of like something that I was going to bring up like later on, but I think that is actually super prevalent now. Do you feel like, and it's kind of branching off what I was going to say, but like, do you feel like failing like that is like a part of like the artistry, or putting yourself out there? Like I think a lot of people, and I totally understand, because like I can totally relate, are like terrified to put themselves out there, right? Because like you're being perceived by people and stuff like that. But do you feel like that's kind of the best way to get better at what you're doing, is to kind of put something out there and maybe fall flat on your face, but then try and maybe like, oh, okay, this works, this doesn't? In your experience, do you feel like that's?
I mean, I would say yes and no. Yes, because like it's important to have experience in any avenue of whatever you're trying to do. But then again, like I said, I didn't show anybody my music for like years.
Right.
So I wrote plenty of bad things that people will never hear.
Never see the light of day.
Yeah. So I think there are benefits to each. I like hearing feedback from people. I think that's a benefit of like
absolutely.
putting yourself out there, because then you're like, maybe I shouldn't do that. Yeah.
I always think it's really good to like find someone that's doing the same thing that you're doing that's like way better than you. Like, you know what I mean? Like I had someone like when I first started getting into video stuff that was like shadow me for the day. And like when I got there, I was like, I have no idea. Like once I saw him, I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but this
Yeah.
is like great. Like even if I can learn like 1% of something today, then I feel like I'm at least a little bit better than what I was when I walked in. Um, yeah, that's interesting. I feel like definitely just putting yourself out there and just trying stuff is the most important part, whether it works or fails or whatnot. So, speaking of putting yourself out there, I feel like you're enjoying the segue. I know you're in the process of, it's already recorded, but it's coming out fairly soon.
Yeah, very soon this
maybe
month.
even at the time of this being put out, maybe I think it's around,
Look
it's
it
in
up.
that week. Yeah, look
Stream
it
me.
up. It's Chrysalis, right? That's
Yes,
the
it
name.
is.
Okay, I thought it was Chrysalis. That was how we got on the bad pronunciation at the beginning. Talk to me about that, like recording it. Did you record it? I mean, how long ago, and like how did the challenges of like the pandemic? Because I know like for music you do a lot of traveling, and I'm sure like there's already difficulties in traveling in and of itself, but then you add the layer of financially and just the convenience of travel with everything that's going on in the world. Kind of start me at like the beginning of the process and kind of give us a sneak peek into how that went down.
Well, it started, I want to say maybe around, I feel like January-ish. No, a little earlier than that, right, Tamira? For
I feel like it was January.
January?
Like it was just when the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
Quarantine.
But yeah, so what Tamira was saying that it started at the beginning of like 2020, and I was a senior in high school at that time, and it was a lot going on. Like it was just a lot going on.
Yeah.
I felt like really weird pressure to be like, I need to go to college.
All right, sorry about that. A quick technical difficulty, but the clever segue that I was gonna make into talking about like doing things, getting things done is your new album, Chrysalis, right? Not Chrysalis. That's what got us started on the bad pronunciation at the beginning in the first place. I think at the time maybe this comes out, it'll be close to then or around then. Talk to me, I guess, just about the beginning process of that. Like, I know you said that it kind of started around the time that the pandemic initially started, so I'm sure that there was a lot of stuff with that, obviously, that went into making it that difficult. And then I also know, like, you know, you have to do some traveling for it as well, and that has its own set of complications. So, yeah, give me a kind of a sneak peek into that beginning recording process, and then we can kind of timetable the rest of it.
Yeah, I want to say that I knew that I wanted to make an album, but I didn't know exactly like what I wanted it to be and how I wanted it to sound. Specifically because like I knew that it was going to be my first project.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I need people to like really understand like who I am, like
Sure.
where I'm coming from. So I challenged myself to be very vulnerable with this album. But I want to say that we started, Tamira and I, because Tamira is my producer, Tamira Slade. Yeah, and she was a stunner this entire album. She
Absolutely.
would send me beats, and then I'd be like, "Oh shit, this fire!" And then I sent a song like right back like that night. But I remember like hitting her up, and I was in my senior year of high school at this time, so I had basically decided that I wasn't gonna go to college for journalism because that's what I thought I was gonna be a journalist. But I decided that I wasn't going to go to school for journalism because of everything that was going on. I was like, I don't really feel like super passionate about that.
Yeah.
And people are literally dying right now.
Right.
So I feel like if I'm going to be here, I need to be doing something that is filling me up and fueling me. And I texted Tamira, I remember it. I was like, so I want to make an album about growth. Here's the cover art. We changed it, but I was like, here's the cover art. And you know, I just feel like people love to talk about like all the pretty things about like, oh, I'm just so healed and, you know, I'm just so aligned with the universe. But like, what about when you wasn't aligned? Like when you were going through those dark moments, when you were going through those moments where you were questioning yourself and questioning your path. And I think that those moments are very important too.
Yeah.
You can learn a lot from moments when
Right.
you down and out.
Like
So
those moments kind of almost tell the story of the person better than the ups a lot of the
exactly.
time, you know.
So like I said before, I challenged myself to be very vulnerable with this album because I wanted people to really feel me. And really just understand who I am, because I think I have like 4 songs out right now, and you can't really get a good grasp of who I am as an artist just from 4 songs.
Right.
So I just wanted to be able to, I guess, bare my soul and hope someone out there would resonate with that.
No, I like that. I like that. Like you put out singles and stuff before then, but then this is kind of like the big, you know, you lay it out all on the table, kind of deal. I know that you had mentioned as well that it was like a concept album. Is that kind of what the concept is about?
Yeah.
Like yeah. How did you feel working within the confines of like a concept album? Like because was it challenging to like kind of stay in one topic, you know, like to stay within the confines of that? Or because I've heard like artists and bands in the past that have done that, you know, and theirs might be like more abstract, like some kind of narrative story or things like that. But I've always wondered, like, I wonder how much it pushes you as an artist to like at the very beginning of the process be like, I'm gonna put some kind of box around like this. Did you run into any of that?
I feel like I didn't run into any of that, like solely because it was something like so new and so fresh to me. Like I was experiencing the things that I was going through while I was writing like the album.
Right.
So it wasn't very hard for me to be like, oh, how does it feel like when I'm sad?
Right.
Because I was kind of sad.
Right. Be
So
in the bag at the current time.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So, it was very easy to I guess tap into those different sides of myself. Because like I said, I was a senior graduating and I was like, I don't really know what's about to happen.
Right. I mean, that time of your life coupled with the terrible time,
Yeah.
really breeds for some interesting thoughts and feelings at the time. Like, yeah, I can only imagine. And then once you kind of got it all written, so when you were working with Tamira, she would send you a beat and then you had like a way to kind of like kick something back to her, like a little makeshift at home setup, and then just to kind of demo some things out and stuff like that. Yeah.
I mean, me and Tamira are comfortable, so I send her a voice note with me yodeling if I really want to. But yeah, I have a mic and an interface at home, just like some really basic, just to have some demos so I can know how like I wanted it to sound like.
Right.
Just I guess rough, but but I recorded the album here in Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then I guess that kind of gets back into so once everything was written and you made the like during the pandemic you had to travel here and do the actual recording process. What was that like? Like what's it like traveling and just being in a different place and kind of being in that creative space for an extended period of time?
It was like really like frightening and freeing at the same time. Frightening because of COVID. Also me and Tamira had never met up until that point where I was like, I'm trying to come out there and make this album with you. And she was like, okay. Which honestly, terrible for both of us because like either one of us could have been like a serial killer or like a crazy person. But yeah, so I told her that I wanted to come out there, and I only stayed for a week the first time. So we were just like every day
Just going at
recording.
it.
Yeah. But I think that was really beneficial because like it got us to be able to like, I guess just kind of settle in and like what the album would feel like and where we wanted the album to go.
Once you got together in person, like was it like the same as like or even more so like then like was it nice to have that person right there and not have to like send it, wait? You could just it was like instant, like you're able to just work on it like there in person.
It was really fun, purely for the fact that I be asking Tamira to do a lot of things like with beats. Like I've literally asked her to put a rooster on a beat before. So being able to just like goof around does help. I feel like it helps the creative process. Yeah.
To be there hands on with it. And then I guess that kind of brings us up to now where the album has been recorded, I assume like mixed and mastered and stuff like that. And I know that at the end of was it the end of last month and now into this month you started the campaign,
Yeah.
the fundraiser campaign. Talk to me about kind of how that came to be, and I saw the post that you had did, I think either on Instagram or TikTok, that was kind of breaking down the different things that go into this that maybe people don't realize, and I was kind of watching it being like, that's so true. Like people don't realize the little things that they wouldn't think that are expenses, or
Are
or
very
just
expensive. Yeah.
even just hearing it now, like it's been a 2-year process, right?
Exactly.
And how much time and effort goes into that. So yeah, kind of talk to me about the campaign, and I think at the time this comes out it may be ended, but
I
please tell the
always
people at
accept
home.
money.
Yeah, please tell the
Cash at
people at
me.
home where they
Poet22
can
music.
do it in the meantime.
But yeah, I mean, I actually saw a friend of mine, a mutual of mine, internet friend, shout out Julia Cannon. She's an amazing musician. Check her out. Need more black girls in indie music. But yeah, and she had set up a crowdfunding campaign to help release her album, and I just saw like one, how great her campaign was and how she was like really killing it, and how many people were actually like there to support her, and I was like, wow, like
Yeah.
I didn't know that that was an option, especially considering Tamira and I, like we had applied for grants before, artist grants before, and we kept getting denied. So I was like, at this point, I think that's the best option to help, get it done, because
No, it's
it
been
needs to get
great.
out.
Like what, in the course of like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks, you guys have raised like over $3,000, right? And are working towards your goal. I like the meter that's like, it reminds me of like the telethon where they like fill up the thing
Yeah.
of like the butterfly and stuff like that. Is it cool for you to see like just the people responding and showing the support and stuff like that? I'm sure, you know, it's already kind of back to what we were saying, like hard to put yourself out there, but then to put yourself out there like that and be like this is something that will kind of help fuel like this big project that I've been doing, and you don't know if people are gonna show up and respond, especially
Yeah.
during times like this. It's got to be just so cool for you to see all the great responses and donations and stuff you guys have gotten.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's been, I guess, most encouraging to hear is how proud like everyone says that they are of Tamira and I, because especially like as a black women, like it's very hard to be like, I kind of need some help, because especially like growing up, people really like to project onto you that you don't really need any help. You're the one that people come to for help. You're the counselor, you're the therapist, the mom friend, just
Sure.
the backbone. And sometimes the backbone need a little, a little pat on the
everybody does.
back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I learned that I can really rely on my community, which is something that I didn't know before, because I've been so used to just being able to like try and get it done myself. But I was like, it's taking so long for you to try and get it done yourself when you can just lean on people who actually care about you and who want to support you,
Right.
and who want to be there.
That's kind of what I was gonna bring up. I was like, you seem like someone that is so good at like with that DIY mentality where you can just get stuff done yourself. But obviously something like that, like you can't, as much as you can try, it must be, I don't know, I just think that's cool. Where like the one time that you do everything yourself and then you're like, you know what, like this hurdle, like we can't overcome, right? Like,
Exactly.
and stuff like that. And then everyone that has kind of been there to see you grind and do other things to be like, you know what, like we got you, like we believe in this, and stuff like that. And I love the and we'll put some of them on the screen, like all the different tiers and rewards, like just very I don't know, very cool and just different. Like I was like, this is like practical, like this is like actual, like good, you're supporting an artist and you're getting something that like probably is exceeding the value at which you're, like I know it was like skincare package, right? Was one of them.
The I think it was a self-care package. Yeah.
My favorite one was prank call your ex.
Yes.
That was great. I was like, there's needs to be people jumping on this.
That's what I'm saying.
There needs to
Yeah.
be people jumping on that. I thought the merch that you had looks great.
Thank
Looks
you.
awesome. And stuff like that. Just a lot of cool I don't know, innovative stuff that I thought, that I was like, it just, I can always tell that you're putting in that 110% effort. You know what I mean? It comes across like very, very much so. One thing that you had mentioned, and I did want to like hit on is like, what is that like being like a young black woman in a space that you're putting yourself out there where you have built like a community and stuff like that, and all the challenges that come with that. Like, explain to people that obviously can't, like, I can't relate to that, and stuff like that, but it's important, I think, for people that can't relate to understand it, and does that make sense, and to kind of get an insight into what that's like.
Well, I mean, I feel like you can hear it in my music.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Black women know that I love them. They do. But yeah, I mean, I feel like growing up, I didn't really see a lot of people that look like me, plus size, black, natural hair. Like, there weren't a lot of people to really be like, that's me.
Sure.
But knowing that I can be that for someone
Yeah.
is really, honestly, at this point, what keeps me going.
Absolutely. I can
Yeah.
imagine. Yeah.
Knowing that there are other girls, black girls, in the industry also trying to break through the way that I am, that keeps me going. Knowing that there are so many beautiful black talented people in general who are waking up every day and are choosing themselves, choosing to show up as themselves is, yeah.
Yeah, and it's probably got to be, there probably has to be such a huge sense of community, and like there's, you know, is there no egos, and it just seems like everyone's there to kind of uplift each other because they all have the same goals and have the same struggles at the end of the
Definitely.
day. Yeah.
I want to say, like, especially with this campaign, it's been black women who have been sharing, reposting, contributing, giving me encouraging messages. I really feel like at the end of the day, they know what home is. Yeah.
Kind of as we get to like the end of this, like I asked my last guest this, and it's something that I kind of struggle with. So I like I've been asking people to kind of get like their insight on it. But like I think anyone that's an artist or puts themselves out there has like the idea of like, and I put it in quotes, like being successful, right? It's just like, what I'm at the point where it's like, as I've gotten older and like as I've done different things, like I feel like that those goalposts or like the idea of like what success is like changes, right? And it's like you could put it into so many different categories, like, monetary or popularity, But
Yeah.
what is that like, just knee jerk reaction? Like, what does that mean to you? Like, at this point for you, like, what does success mean? And do you feel like you're successful?
I feel like I'm successful because I know that I'm doing what God put me here to do.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up every day, I pray, and I try and think of new ways to connect with people, because at the end of the day, that's what this is about,
Yeah.
connecting with people, expressing ourselves, and letting people know that this human shit is hard, but, there are
Absolutely.
other people out there that, we feel you. So, but as for success, I guess in a couple years, I would like to not have to crowdfund for my album.
Sure.
So,
Right. Yeah, I feel like it's so easy, like, and I'm guilty of this, of getting like kind of lost in the weeds of like, you know, the like what success is, like the societal, kind of standard of that, right? And it's really easy, I feel like, to kind of fall into that trope of being like, oh, this thing I put out didn't get X amount of plays or something
yeah,
like that, or this, and it's good to have like those wants and like those metrics that you want to meet, but sometimes I feel like I've been trying to convince myself more of like, hey, like you did this thing and you kind of like what we were talking about, and you put yourself out there and you tried, and that's at some point success to me. You know what I
exactly.
mean? Like it's really easy to get lost in the sauce with it, but
But if you think about it, capitalism has us this way, having to focus on numbers, waking up every day, getting to the grind. That's not normal. That's not healthy. We should do something about that.
do you feel like, and this is kind of off topic, but do you feel like the pandemic has caused people to kind of like, I mean, and like you, what do you guys think? Like, do you feel like the pandemic has kind of caused people to be like this rat race shit of like the grind of like working
Yes.
these jobs, like is not like what humans are programmed to do? You know what I mean?
For real.
Yeah, we should get back to our primal, like, yeah. No, I feel like that's kind of like, you hear all these like boomers being like, nobody wants to work, and it's like, no, people want to work. They want to, but they also want to get
Get
what
paid.
they're due. You know what
Why
I mean?
is $7.25 considered a livable wage when I go to the grocery store and everything has been inflated in prices?
Right, and the pay hasn't been, proportionally
Exactly.
inflated. Yeah, I think COVID's been terrible, but hopefully there's some good things that we can take from it. Hopefully it puts some power back in the people's hands. To wrap up, what do you hope to accomplish in 2022? Like, obviously, I know putting the album out and kind of getting that out there and putting that out, and I feel like it's a first big step for you. Like, I feel like once you put this out, the world is your oyster, right? Like, they finally have this representation of you. But I like I said, I could tell how much of just a, I don't know if like go getter is the right word, but you know what I mean? Like how much,
Passionate.
so I'm sure that there's, already plans for 2022, 2023 and beyond, but is there anything that you're looking forward to right now on the calendar that you have?
Well, yeah, obviously the album. After that, I'm gonna be real. The concert, very excited to do the concert. I think you can still be able to buy some tickets when this come out, so go ahead do that. But yeah, really excited for the concert because I haven't been able to perform because of the pandemic. You know, gigs are very far and few in between. But when I do get to get on stage, I get very excited. So I think putting that concert on with this album that is literally talking about like things that I went through as like a child growing up and as a young woman now, like I think it's going to be a very beautiful full circle moment.
Has it been frustrating with you with the pandemic where it seems like things get better and then you start making these plans to like maybe play gigs or like travel or do these things and then the rug kind of gets pulled out, like,
Yes,
obviously, so for safety
definitely.
reasons, but it seems like it's very start stop.
Even like coming here before me and Tamira were communicating and we were like, I don't know, like I didn't even want to take a flight here because
Right.
flights were getting canceled.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, I'm just gonna drive. I'm gonna do it myself, okay?
Right.
And Tamir was like, drive fast because states do be closing down
right,
sometimes.
right.
So I was pedal to the metal. But I got here all in one piece.
Yeah, hey. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, as always, we have some lovely segments and such planned. You told me off camera that you have a really good tweet
Oh
cooked
yeah.
up, so I'm ready to see what that is. But if you're ready, we can hop into some of these segments we have planned.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
excited.
All right, we'll be right back. I think I'm good. I think we had our laughs out there at the end. I think we're good. As always, we have some segments prepared. I feel like the segments are a good way. You can sit there and talk about your like all the things you're working on, but I feel like the way that you really, really get to know someone is you put them in some situations and you see how they react. But don't worry, in the past we made people eat like gross jelly beans or things like that. You're not getting that. You've drawn the good straw. Instead, this is a segment that we've done before many times in the past. It's called Bev Check.
Okay.
And I have two beverages here, one for each of us, and two sets of them. And we're going to just do like a blind taste test. Grace earlier was at the market and was sending me all these pictures of drinks because I don't like to get generics, And I was like, I don't know. I'm overwhelmed. Just pick two. So this will also be the first time I'm seeing them as well.
All right.
So we can go into it together. So which one do you want to start with?
Raspberry Joe look real
Okay,
good.
I agree. I need some Raspberry Joe in my life right now. So I don't know if that camera isn't able to see it. There we go. You can kind of see some of the packaging and stuff as well. So there you go. That is for you.
Thank you.
I think it's
And you
just one of
see
the-
it's pink.
yeah, I love the packaging on it. I love like everything about the
Oh.
packaging.
Oh, okay.
There we go. It's like a Snapple. All right, cheers.
That was COVID safe.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh.
Okay.
Where you get this at, Grace?
Streets market.
Yeah.
It's like a fancy.
Yeah, it's a
can tell.
little bodega grocery store.
This tastes like money.
Yeah, how much was this? I always like to know. $2?
Only $2?
Not bad.
I know
Okay.
that's right.
This is a $4.90, like a $4.50 maybe in my book. That would be like
Really?
maybe, I don't know. That's a little excessive for a drink.
No, I feel like
but-
this is like a bougie Snapple.
Yes, I
You know?
agree. I'm usually not a raspberry guy, but I would pound one of these.
No,
for
I
sure.
go hard for the berries too.
I was gonna
Blueberries.
Get peach, but they only have one.
Only one peach. Okay. Well, it was destiny to get the raspberry.
Yeah,
Like I said, I like the packaging. It's got like this cool
I get to take this home.
pink pickup truck. Yeah, that's all yours.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go get me another one. I'm gonna start
This is
packing these to
good.
my lunch, dude.
Yeah,
If you had to, let me get one more sip.
it's good. I know.
I can't stop. Joe's gonna make me act up, dude. Pause. Anyways, I lost my train of thought. If you had to give, here we go. I see it. It's kicking in. If you had to give this some kind of letter grade, like S tier being the highest and letter F being the lowest, where would you would you rank this?
I feel like this is like a solid, like a T. Yeah, a T.
A
Right?
T?
Yeah, you said A through Z.
Oh, I'm
Or-
sorry. S through F. My bad. I was like, yeah, it's T. Like,
Yeah, this is good. Like a E.
E. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
E for enticing.
Enticing. Okay. I agree. I think it's got good packaging. It's got good flavor. It's even got, if you look on the side, its own hashtag.
Really?
Hashtag Joe T. It's got its
Okay.
own website. Wow, they really thought
I'm
of
gonna look
everything.
through that.
I'm gonna have to hashtag Joe T later today.
Their email is heyjoe@joet.com.
They might be getting an email or something like that. Okay.
Wow. This is made in New Jersey.
Now the next one, kind of different. It's like these little. It looks almost like I don't know, like a alcoholic beverage kind of. I don't know, like the way, but I think it's coffee. Correct?
Like a White Claw.
Yeah, like a White Claw or something. Like
Ooh,
that.
it's oat milk.
Yeah, we always like to try to get.
I love oat
This
milk.
is a no dairy household. This is a no dairy household.
Yes.
All right.
I wanted to shake it, but that would have been a bad idea.
You know what? I
Huh?
should have done that. It's called the Mocha Oak Latte. It's got adaptogens. I don't know what that means. Like good stuff for you. Okay.
Smell good.
And it's dairy free, no refined sugar. It's a single shot coffee, only 100 calories. Have you? Okay, there we go.
Cheers.
Cheers. Let's see. Interesting.
This is a refined taste.
Do you know Yoo-hoo? Do you know what Yoo-hoos are? Like the drink Yoo-hoo?
Yes!
It kind of reminds me
I
of a
love
Yoo-hoo.
Yoo-hoos.
Kind of reminds
Yes.
me of a Yoo-hoo, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I
Like
drunk
a
it again.
coffee Yoo-hoo kind of.
Yeah.
You want to try, Grace? Okay.
It's
You need
just-
sugar in your system, so
Yeah.
there you go.
I'm definitely tasting the oat.
Yeah, definitely get that oat presence.
It says that it has
have the rest of it. Actually,
adaptogens. What are adaptogens?
I don't know, but it sounds healthy.
Your daily latte with an adaptogen boost.
Oh, it says it has ashwagandha. That's me not being able to pronunciate again. Sorry about that.
Mm-hmm.
And maca, M-A-C-A.
I don't know. Ooh, maca.
Is that
I know
good?
about maca root.
Okay. Is that like a powder you can get? I know I used to, like the probiotic I take has the ashko. I can't pronounce it. Yeah. Sounds healthy.
Tamira, would you like to try?
Ashwagandha. There we go. I'll forget how to say it.
It's a refined taste.
It's pretty good, right?
Oh.
It's like kind of classy, you know. I feel,
You can keep
feel
the
like it's
best for you.
pinkies out when I drink this.
I'm sticking with Joe.
If you had to give that one some kind of a grading, what would you think?
You know, it's skimming a line.
Yeah, It's
Yeah.
like right on the border.
Yeah,
of
it's
the
not
two?
terrible, but I don't know if I would go and pick that back up.
I see. It's like
Yeah.
nice if it's there, but you're not spending the money on it.
Yeah.
That's how I agree. I don't see myself like seeking it out.
Yeah,
You know,
but good for them.
Yeah,
The
I'd give it like a
pathogens.
D, maybe like
don't think
not
that
an
was
F,
right.
but like a D somewhere around there. Like well, the last one was E. Maybe this one has to be F.
Yeah, it kind of
'Cause
it
Joe
kind of
was
be
better, yeah.
it can take the F. Yeah,
You can take that. Yeah. Okay.
but keep going.
Yeah. Hey,
Stay strong.
do they have other flavors of these? Yeah. This is a mocha. Yeah. Matcha one.
Oh, I don't like matcha. No,
How much was this? 350.
350.
See, this is where they get
See,
you with this
pricier
stuff, you
doesn't
know?
always mean better.
They always get you. I'll take another sip though. All right. Was that good? Were there some interesting beverages?
I like Joe.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think Joe won the 2.
The mocha was okay though.
Mocha was okay.
Yeah.
Now I feel like I need to drink another sip of the Joe to kind
Okay.
of
Yeah.
clear
I was
the.
waiting on you for permission because I was like,
Yeah. Like, ooh, it kind of almost accents it now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I don't know about that, but
Yeah. Maybe not. It's wishful
just
thinking.
need to
I
rinse my
suppose.
mouth.
Right. Earlier, before when you first got here, you had asked me about cartoons.
Yeah.
And I said that that's very apropos because I actually had some cartoon thing planned.
Okay.
I can't remember, Grace. Did we come up with a name for this or not? Some kind of, it's like a work in progress. You'll see it on the screen as we do the graphic. Cartoon Clash, cartoon something like that. Some kind of a, what's that, consonation instead of alliteration or whatever? Yeah. I haven't been in school in a long time. So we have numbers 2 through 30.
I get to pick a number.
You can just pick any number between 2 or 30.
22.
22?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember the show Ben 10?
Do I remember the show Ben 10? Okay, let me break this down for y'all. I like Ben 10 so much that I had the watch. Like I was, I had like the little transforming things. Like I used to watch the shows. I ain't like the new show. When they put out the new show, they made the sister come out like she was a bitch. And I was like, she was not a bitch.
Yeah.
Like I didn't like that, feminism. But yeah, I don't know. But I do know that Ben 10, he was very hard. Like that man could turn into a velociraptor. I wouldn't mess with anybody like that. So
Well, it's interesting because the whole thing about this segment is whether you could beat them in a fight.
Oh.
So Ben 10's an interesting one because it's like, are we talking base level, like 10-year-old kid? Are we talking like the giant like fire dude? Or are we talking like the little gray matter alien guy?
Okay. I mean, yeah, because he had some ones where he didn't have quite like control of.
Right.
That was like his thing. He was like, I gotta hone my skills.
Do you want to stick with this one or do you want to reroll?
We can.
Okay.
Yeah, we can.
I didn't know if there's too many variables.
I mean, it depends. Like, if you catch me on a good day, I feel like I could at least, I could get a punch or two in.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
On, like the big ones.
I ain't going
Yeah,
down
Yeah.
that easy.
What if you got like the little
The little one?
Yeah. Drop
Yeah.
like an elbow on them or something.
Flick 'em.
Yeah. Flick 'em. There you go. I feel like Ben 10, I didn't think about that when I put him on here. It was like there's so many variables. I mean, like base level 10-year-old Ben 10, like, yeah, he's going to catch this fade real quick. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But like, we're talking like the giant guy, and I'll put some of the crazy ones that he turned into on the screen, they're going to kill you for sure. But I like that, you probably get a couple hits in
I ain't
before,
winning though. I'm not.
Hey, all that matters is the attempt. Do you want to see some of the other ones I have?
Yes, please.
So that's who people are dealing with in the
Popeye?
future. Yeah,
Popeye
Popeye,
would
dude, he
beat
eats
my
that spinach.
ass.
He's you're done for.
He literally, it would take that one little can of spinach.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, just turn you into dust.
Don't let me say nothing about Olive.
All right, I had to mark Ben. So now Ben 10's been taken. No one else can get it in the future. That was great.
I've marked my
I'm surprised that
territory.
everyone that you picked, that was the one that I was like, there's so many variables. But so now we've just gotten that out of the way. I'm trying to see if there's another good one that I can point to you real quick. Like
Dora the Explorer.
pretty easy.
I don't
right?
know. I feel like I would have her, but then Boots. Boots would be because
Yeah. He's gonna come in swinging.
Yeah, he gonna ride for his friend.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
There's a lot of variables with this. Okay. So, Ben 10, it's a 50-50. Depends on who he's turning into
I see
that day.
courage on there.
Courage is on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so bad. I'm like, what are you supposed to do? Fight a dog? Like fight a child? Like,
Yeah,
but I mean, hey, you got to do it. You know,
I feel like Courage would win too.
this is the top one, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I would lose. You remember the episode where the guy just punches him all day long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he is, yeah.
Right, because he can't feel pain or something. So, speaking of a guy that can't feel pain, are you ready for this segue? As always, it's tradition here on this podcast that at the end, me and my guest send a tweet to a certain somebody that we have
Yes.
immortalized here, right here next to me. His name is The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. You know, I'm sure you're well familiar. And like I said before we took our break, you said that you had one cooking.
Yes.
And no pun intended cooking, you know, because, you know, you smell what the dog's cooking. And so I'm excited to see. So, Poet, if there was one thing that you could tweet to The Rock, and we will tweet it to him, what would it be?
Do you astral project into your fans' dreams?
Wow. I know I'm trying to astral project myself into his.
Yeah. I know some people who know some things. So I
Really?
just want to know.
I feel like if there's someone that has that has such control over their energy, it's probably
it's about drive. It's about power.
Oh my god, I love that song. When I found out he was coming out with the music video, I put it on a tab on my work computer that had like the reminder, and I watched it like live at work.
Oh my God.
I was so hyped about it.
How did you hold yourself together?
I didn't. I was like, someone called like 3 minutes before it premiered, and I was like, if this takes too long and I don't get to watch the premiere, I'm going to be in shambles. I waited all day for this. But I got to see it, and then I proceeded to watch it like 10 times. It's on my work. When I go to the gym, I always listen to that song at least once, but I skip straight to the Rock's verse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah. Hey. No disrespect to anybody else, but if I'm listening to anybody on that song, it's gonna be The Rock. Mm-hmm. Do you think like The Rock now has like a musical career possibly?
I feel like The Rock can do whatever he want to do at this point in his
agree.
life because he done played everything to everybody. I feel like he probably got a Kevin Hart movie coming out because they got one at least every 3
Dude, they
years.
pump one out consistently.
Yeah, so-
like it made no sense for Kevin Hart to be in Jumanji, but they were like, "Fuck it!" Like,
Literally.
he's gonna be in it. Like, he's in it for some reason. So I love that bromance. Well, that's what we can definitely at least try to get some answers. That's what relates to the astral projection. I think maybe he might keep some of his powers close to the vest, but we can at least try.
Yes. Try we might.
Yeah. Well, it's been great. Before we wrap up, if there's anything that you want to plug, any places that people can find you, we'll have your socials on the screen. But if there's any way that they can continue to contribute to the campaign or to contribute to it afterwards, or where they can find your music, please let everyone know.
I am Poet22. All of my social media handles are Poet22 Music. I like to make it accessible. My Cash App and my Venmo are also Poet22 Music. Do with that what you may. Yeah, and you can find my music on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal. Yeah, just look me up. Follow me.
Incredible. And Chrysalis album coming maybe out now?
Probably out. And if it is out, please stream. If it's not out, pre-save. That helps.
If it's out, run it up, listen to it in the morning, at night on your way to work, and everywhere.
Cry to some of my songs.
Yeah, exactly.
But healthy
just let it all
cries.
out. Yeah.
Because we're growing.
Right.
Yeah.
Constructive crying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Constructive crying only. Well, it's been great. I'm glad that we finally were able to do this, and I'm sure this won't be the last time, unless I've scared you off with these crazy beverages and stuff like that.
No,
But,
Joe's got me hooked.
Okay. I'm glad. Hey, I might have to walk down to the market and get a couple ready for lunch next week. But it's been great having you, and I guess we'll see you again soon.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of
I will
course.
be back.
All right, we'll be back, guys. That was a great interview. Legitimately one of my favorite ones that I've done. Yeah, they're just good people, and it was great to talk. She has a lot going on with her album getting ready to drop, so it was just kind of like a perfect storm. I'm glad that we were finally able to link up and do that.
Yeah, it's so cool that like she's been introduced to this world like since she was young, which she was saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was really cool.
how like her mom's boyfriend at the time, was doing some producing and stuff like that. it's something that I wish I would have asked more people in the past, is kind of how they gotten into music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and if they're a performer and stuff like that, it's definitely something I'll try to do, because it's kind of interesting to see. Like I said on there, like my parents always had music on, but they had no aspirations to play any kind of music or anything like that. And then me and my brother just kind of fell into it and both ended up doing it and stuff. So yeah, definitely will add that to the old memory bank. But yeah, I really enjoyed that one. I hope everybody did as well. Is there anything else you can think of there, Skippy? Ready to lay your
I'm
head
ready
on the
to go
pillow?
to bed.
Watch a couple TikToks before you go to bed.
I might just pass out.
Yeah,
Oh,
well.
literally.
Yeah, hey, literally, yeah. Hopefully not. Yeah. All right, well, as always, you can find all of us on Instagram at 100 Miles Media. You can follow me on Twitter at WoolXGod, also on Instagram at WoolXGod, and twitch.tv/Wool. Just WoolGod, actually, on that one. I had to catch myself. How about you? You want people to follow you?
At
or-
Gracie on you, GRACEY on you.
on pretty much
I might
everything,
change
right?
that.
You've had it for so long.
I
It would
know.
be such a shame.
I know.
And it's like a play on words of like the song "Crazy on You."
Yeah,
right?
but not many people understand
Yeah, well,
off the top. of it.
I got it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's only because I know it. So, yeah, we'll be back. Like I said, new episodes drop every other Wednesday, so 2 a month. You can either catch it in audio form. I would recommend watching it in video for the best experience.
Yeah.
One thing I will mention that will be updated, that has been updated in the first video as well, but I want to mention here is last season we didn't have anything on Apple Podcasts, which I didn't realize until kind of recently. The distribution that I used to distribute the podcast kind of messed up on that, and now you can find things on Apple Podcasts as well, on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, all the weird ones people use. We're on there. iHeartRadio,
And if we're
Pandora.
not, email us.
And if we're not, email us. And if we aren't, then just watch the YouTube.
Yeah, yeah.
It's free.
It's free.
And you get the best experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm exhausted. I'm ready to tap out.
Good night.
All right. Good night, everyone. Or good, whatever. Even if it's in your morning. Good night. We'll catch you next time. All right.
See ya.
See ya.
Lately these jobs got me struggling less, but I'm still under pressure, and I've still been depressed. There's no limit to extra, if it makes you the best. Flying low with the winners, close, take the air out my chest. I ain't tripping so long, maybe it's for the better. Cut the alk in the smoke, there's no limit to extra. Ain't as far as it goes, a long way from your regular, ayy. Make it rain on your umbrella, Ella, ayy. Rain